How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new Bleach chapter discussion. And for today's sim, folks, we're going to be talking about the last and final Bleach chapter that has finally came out, guys. Bleach chapter 686. And I have to say, guys, that this chapter was very, very well thought out by Kubo. Don't get me wrong. But many fans and viewers of that has been following Bleach for many years, personally, they were very dissatisfied as to why and how this ending came about, this disastrous ending. And in my personal opinion, guys, I would say this ending is 50-50. 50-50. Because when you think about it, we really don't know what Kubo could have gone with this ending. He could have gone a different direction and said, happily ever after, guys. But no, this chapter is not really happily ever after. It feels like there is still more at stake in this chapter as to what more could happen. Or maybe Kubo left it at the end of this chapter just like how it's actually represented with, Ichigo Kurosaki marrying Orihime, Abare Renji marrying Rukia, and, each of these characters having kids, having a life, having a very employing life. But, maybe that's why Kubo left it like that, is only for a reason maybe that he wants maybe some other author that he could actually take up the mantle and continue Bleach. But I don't know, in this case it doesn't really look like that it's going to work out for this one, because of the fact that we don't really know as to who really would take up with Bleach's mantle, or who would be the next successor for Bleach. But like I said, guys, anything's possible these days. Anything is freaking possible. But let's not digress away from the chapter itself, guys. This chapter, however, like I said, it actually was showcasing a lot of the major characters back from I would say from the very beginning of Bleach itself, guys. Ichigo's first friends that he met at his high school that he was talking to them. They were all conversating, and it's hilarious the fact that Ichigo has a son now named Kazuya. I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Kazui Kurosaki, and Rukia and Renji have a daughter, Abare Ichika. And I'm personally thinking like, okay, these kids are cute. Don't get me wrong, they're cute, but I feel like Tite Kubo showcased these two brand new characters as to say, okay, a lot has happened. These people are adults now, and they're having a bit of fun on the side by having kids and just having a married life. And it's hilarious the fact that also, a lot of these characters, they actually evolved from way before as how they are. Like Chad in this chapter, he wasn't really shown that much. I mean, come on. Granted, this character is a very powerful character, yet he hardly gets the spotlight at all sometimes. I mean, just look at the 1000 Blood War arc. He hardly got any spotlight at all. All he got was like a couple of lines saying, well, yeah, we're going to leave Ichigo a path to come back from Soul Society, but that's about it. Nothing else from there, to be honest, which kind of is a little bit disappointing at the same time too. But in this chapter, though, Chad himself is actually a heavyweight boxer, and he's actually, doing pretty good with his life. And with Ishida also doing pretty good with his life too. He's actually a doctor, taking in, I'm assuming, his father's footsteps too as well. But nonetheless, guys, holy snap. It's kind of hilarious too that Ichigo and his friends, and I would say his, human friends, you could kind of say, they're just kind of being bums and just hanging around doing whatever they want. But only Chad and Ishida became really famous people, you kind of say. Which is kind of ironic because they were always the side characters. Funny though, it's kind of funny. But let's move on with another part of the chapter itself, guys. Part of the nostalgic feeling that Kubo's trying to give up right there, like back from the first arc, you kind of say. I'm assuming he's trying to give up that nostalgic feeling, or he's trying to create that nostalgic feeling, or something along the lines of that. But I personally don't think so. But we're actually then witnessing back at the Gote 13. You see Maria, Soifon, and Byakuya, they actually found Bach's actual Ryutsu acting up again back in the Gote 13. And it's crazy at the fact that the Ryutsu from Bach is actually acted up, since it's been, like I said, 10 years since Peace has happened. And you're wondering as to, wait a minute, it took 10 years just for the Ryutsu to pop up again? Like, see, this is where it starts getting kind of like tite kubo. I could tell you're trying to wrap things up very nicely with, you know, Ichigo and his friends. But it's just some of the stuff that you kind of implemented in this ending. It just kind of doesn't really make any sense at all. And that is with Box Ryutsu coming back to life. And with Box Ryutsu, we actually see the Gote 13 members just staring at it. They're not even doing nothing to contain it. You would think these captains would already have a precaution measure in order to you know, contain this creature or some sort. But no, these guys are just standing in awe and saying, we're ready to fight it. Like, is that all you guys are really able to do? I mean, I was personally thinking as to maybe Mayuru has some kind of experimental procedure or some kind of machine that would contain his Ryutsu, similar to how Aizen is contained. That's what I'm kind of confused, is how are they able to contain Aizen, but they can't contain Bach now that they actually fought against Bach. But it's so hilarious that, you know, Aizen is also in this chapter as well, but he's back to being contained. And you kind of would think that, wait a minute, wasn't Aizen dead when Bach kind of took over his body, or wasn't Bach using his body as a substitute or a recreational form so he could come back to life, which kind of didn't make any sense in this chapter. And it's so hilarious that Aizen was giving some kind of motivational speech toward, I would say, to us viewers. I think it's basically breaking the fourth wall, which is pretty interesting right there in that sense too. But he's basically breaking the fourth wall and explaining to his viewers that, you know, Bach underestimated all people with his ideal dream, and because of that, we noticed that Bach's dream was to create Soul Society, you know, the Shinigamis in the human world, all to intermingle as one. But because Ichigo stepped in his line of work, that could have never really happened. And it's hilarious too that Aizen was looking at that goal as like a condescending tone, because the fact that what was Aizen's goal then? Wasn't Aizen trying to create something similar to that, or at least utopia, you could kind of say? But like I said, this chapter kind of doesn't make sense at all sometimes. It's like I said, he's trying to wrap things up in a very unorganized manner, you could kind of say. Oh my god, it's so hilarious. But then we continue on through later in the chapter. You know, I'm glad that at least we got to see Aizen, though. That's the one good thing that we actually got to see, is Aizen was in the chapter. I mean, at least it wasn't that disappointing. But nonetheless, then later in the chapter, we see that Ichigo's son, like I said, it's again that tite kubo kind of does some kind of weird stuff with it. So just as Bach is coming out, back in the Gote 13, you clearly see Kazui stick his hand in a random hole, clearly not knowing what the heck this hole is. And in the previous panels in the same chapter, Orihime tells Ichigo that, oh yeah, Kazui's fine, Tsubaki and the others are taking care of Kazui. So then it kind of goes along to say, where is Tsubaki and them? Where are they? Shouldn't they be handling this kid, saying, oh, don't touch those random spiritual holes? But no, that did not make any sense at all again, which I thought was hilarious again. Which this chapter, it was just a pun on itself, guys. Oh my god, so many plot holes being destroyed by its own plot holes. What the heck? A plot hole. It's like a domino effect. You're trying to create one plot hole, but this domino effect is toppling another plot hole, but it's going all over the place. It's hilarious. But continuing on this chapter, yeesh, if you can, we see later then, the minute that Kazui sticks his hand in there, poof, that's it. Nothing else. Bach is completely done. We are left with no questions answered. We don't know as to how the Ryutsu came back, or as to how it got destroyed with just Kazui's hand just sticking in. Viewers are just left to speculate. Maybe Bach's powers got transferred into Kazui, and he's starting to become basically the new one, or maybe the Bach's spiritual powers and Ryutsu were very weak to the point that any Shinigami or human with a flick of a touch could just destroy it like a little wet water balloon, which kind of doesn't make any sense too, because come on, Bach isn't all powerful. If he can resurrect himself from just a tiny scratch, then how is he gone from that? From Kazui sticking his hand inside that hole. Plot hole. Undiscovered. Yeesh. But yes, guys. And that's the end for Bach itself. We don't even know what's going on with that scene. And then, at the end of the chapter, guys, we are then left with Kazui talking to Ichika, which is Renchi's and Rukia's daughter. And they're kind of conversating, saying that, oh yeah, I'm a Shinigami. And then Kazui says the same thing, I'm a Shinigami. And then the chapter ends with Ichika saying, what? She's kind of just, I would say, astounded at the fact that Kazui can turn into a Shinigami. But the thing is, how can Kazui turn into a Shinigami? What the heck? That made no sense. He could do it at will. So then, like I said, this chapter is full of immense plot holes that doesn't even make any sense. And that's why I'm wondering why people didn't really like this chapter, was because of that. It's just all the other random events that are unfolding in the chapter, with instead of Ichigo's, friends and families and what they're doing. Yes, that did make sense, but all the other stuff that was after that just did not fit with this ending. Kind of didn't. But that's it for this segment, folks. What did you guys think about this chapter? Do you guys agree with what I actually said about all those events that were unfolding in this chapter? Because the fact that this chapter was a disaster waiting to happen. Holy snap. And what did you guys think about Ichigo's son? And by the way, Ichigo looks a little bit better, by the way, as he looks older. He has like a fresh cut. He has like a small, it looks like it's like near a bold cut, but it's not. It's kind of hilarious. Ichigo does look better as he grows older, it's so hilarious. But what do you guys think about Rukia and Ichigo's still relationship going on? It's so hilarious that Ichigo and Rukia is still going on strong. Like everything is there, all the relationship is still going on strong. But yet, what about the other captains? What happened with Ichigo involving him with the other Gotei 13? It's not like he was only close to Rukia and Renchi. I mean, he was still associated with all these other Shinigami. So then what's to say, come on, tite kubo, you had, like, I feel like this chapter could have at least gone for 2 more chapters, and then it would have wrapped things up. But nonetheless, this is tite kubo's special ending, guys. And like I said, guys, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this chapter. Did you guys agree? Disagree? What was your horrible, distasteful, I would say, scene in this chapter? What did you guys think of that chapter? Eesh. But as always, guys, have a wonderful day. And if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe. But this is Mr. Zen.